there's a lot going on there, and there's a lot that Phil's trying to watch in the back end as well. So yeah, I find myself trying to coach that position.
How'd that position come about?
That position came about. You guys can rewind the tape back to Wisconsin. Nick Neiman's junior year got beat on a vertical route, and that's when we just kind of folded the tent and said the next week we put a Monty Hooker in at that position, and since then it's been an attractive name to you all. It's really not that big of a deal for us. I think a lot of people play in a 4-2-5 just like we do a lot. So, but the cash position's been good for us.
What has Nick Jackson brought to the room so far?
Nick Jackson he's been a breath of fresh air in regards to just the type of young man he is. Obviously he's a college graduate, high academic kid. He's accomplished a lot in his career. He's been through a lot. If you guys think about all the stuff that went down at Virginia, really, last year, and some of the experiences that he's had, you're talking about, a maturity that's on a different level. But, I think probably the bigger piece of this with Nick Jackson joining this program is the unselfishness and his ability to come in and be a part of the team. And that's not easy to do this day and age with transfers, and you're not always sure exactly what you're getting because there's a lot of restrictions in regards to the recruiting where you just can't get to know the kid as well as maybe you could with a kid coming out of high school. But, everything's been good up to this point with Nick.
Was there a point where you were really sold on him?
Yeah, I mean, we lost two players that that exited here with with a lot of snaps under their belt, and the cupboard was not bare. I will be the first to admit that I myself as a coach, wasn't necessarily going out pursuing the transfer portal. However, I knew that bringing somebody in that had some snaps under their belt and had that veteranness to them, was going to be a benefit to the room.
Seth, where do things stand at Leo right now? Who's kind of working there?
The Leo position's really, there's 4 guys working there. I would say first and foremost, you'd probably see Kyler Fisher out there tomorrow, the first time that we get into 40 defense. Carson Shire, if he's out on the field, he's been banged up a little bit, but he's repped there for 2 years now since he's been a part of the program. Kelby T-Lander's going to be out there, Jackson Rexroth. I think I've shared with you guys in years past or in points of the season or off season that kind of pride myself on getting guys ready to play multiple positions. So, all of our guys are fit to do it. Some are just a little bit, maybe have a little bit more reps there.
Who's your middle linebacker now?
Who's middle linebacker? Jay Higgins is middle linebacker right now.
So Nick is on
and Nick's repping there. He has to rep there just like other guys have to rep there that might, be pegged into another position right now. But, you'll see him out there tomorrow play. If he was to take the field with the first group, he's going to be at the will position. Kyler would be at the Leo, and Jay would be at the Mike. But I have no problem flip-flopping those 2 interior guys. Now, Jay's got a little bit more under his belt than Nick does in regards to just running the defense.
Is Fish going to be kind of like your super backup? He's going to be backup at will?
He will be the backup at will, if it was on paper right now. And what we give you guys is not necessarily the way we envision it in our room. So, I get where you guys want a depth chart, but in our mind, that's, to me, there's some moving parts. And if somebody goes down, then we're going to put the next best available guy in there, as long as he's proven that he can play multiple positions.
So if we're talking about like a top 3, let's say of Jackson, Higgins, and Fisher, is there anybody else like climbing into that like highest echelon with them, or is it them?
Yes. Yes. To answer your question, Jaden Harrell. Jaden Harrell's had an excellent 7 days up to this point. Jackson Rexroth has done a lot of good things. Carson Shire, like I said, I'll admit to you, he's been banged up a little bit, here at the beginning of camp. But he's got enough that he's proven in the last 2 years of being in this program that he also deserves mention within that group. And then there's some guys on the fringe right now. I told my guys, a couple days ago when we finished our 6th practice, I told those guys that I've got confidence in 6 guys right now, but when we go to the Kirkwood Hotel, September 1st, the night before that game, we're going to be traveling somewhere between 9 to 11 linebackers, and those guys on the fringe are going to have to be our core special teams guys. So, we've got to move the room along. We've got to grow the room. That was kind of my message at the beginning of the year. Beginning of the year, I'm talking about 8 days ago, which was just we got to grow the room. The room's got to the room's got to strengthen from within, and then once that happens, we'll have a good group of guys.
In the